Hey up, Mr. Josh here again. Welcome to video number, I think it's number 9 for Listening and Understanding. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to click on the link under this video. That will take you to my website where you can download a question sheet. Under the title of the question sheet, you'll see a link to YouTube. Watch that video as many times as you like, answer the questions, then come back here to see how many you got right and wrong. So here we are again. I'm sat in cold, wet, drizzly Spain. The rest of Europe is suffering from a heat wave, and today it's raining here in Galicia. Thanks a lot. So anyhow, in this video we have Dan Sperry, who is on the TV show Fool Us, which is hosted by Penn Teller. If you don't know who Penn Teller are, I think they hold the record for the longest running magic show in Las Vegas. I don't know how many years it's been going, but a long time. And they're pretty famous magicians, mostly for like shock and horror type magic, and also showing people how things are done, sort of lifting the veil of mystery. So on this episode of Fool Us, we have Dan Sperry, and he too is also a shock magician. And he is trying to do a trick that hopefully Penn Teller can't understand, in order to win the prize of performing in Las Vegas with Penn Teller. If you put into Google Penn Teller Fool Us, you'll see loads of magicians on the show trying to do tricks in the hope of tricking Penn Teller. But it doesn't happen very often. Sometimes, but not often. So, anyhow, I have my trusty tablet, so let's get into this. Hilarious stage magician Dan Sperry on Fool Us. Question number 1. Dan holds his hands to his face to reveal something tattooed to the underside. What does it say? Well, it says thick blood. I have no idea what that means. Google it if you're really interested, but I haven't a clue. Not that into tattoos myself. Question number 2. What 2 props does Dan say he enjoys using in his magic shows? So the 2 props that he enjoys using are broken glass and razor blades. Basically, all the nasty things of life is what he prefers. And I think he says something like, if he pulls a rabbit out of a hat, the rabbit will be dead and he'll probably eat it on stage. Why not? Question 3. Does Dan sleep in a coffin? No, he doesn't. He lives in a very regular Las Vegas suburb, and he does all the normal things like get up in the morning, make coffee, water his plants, look after the garden, blah blah blah. He says his neighbours hate him, but tough. Question number 4. Dan starts his act by saying that he needs Alyson to help him. Is she okay with this? Well, put simply, sort of yes and no. As she's walking over, she's like, yeah, okay, I'll help you. So yeah, whatever you put, yes or no, it's fine. She's sort of like, yeah, I have to do this. It's my job. Question number 5. Dan places a coin in Alyson's raised hand and says, Pickle fight, true or false? False. It's not pickle fight, it's tickle fight, you know, tickle, tickle, tickle. Alyson's prize for tossing the coin was a hug. What was the other possible prize? Well, the other possible prize that was written on the card was kill. So yeah, there really was tiny difference between hug and kill. Yeah, could have gone either way. Question number 7. Dan explains to Alyson that she needs to write something on the coin. What does Dan say when Alyson tries to reach for the marker pen? You're not my mum. Question number 8. What does Dan do to creep out Alyson while she's writing on the coin? What he does is, as she's writing on the coin, he reaches over and he's feeling her hair. And you can see her sort of going, yeah, get away from me. I have pretty much the same reaction to anyone touching me. It's always like, get away from me, leave me alone. Question 9. What did Alyson write on the coin? Well, on one side of the coin it says help, and on the other, me. So help me. Question number 10. Dan says he's going to make the coin disappear by putting the coin someplace dirty. Who told him it's dirty to put a coin there? Well, as Dan says, it was his parents who told him it's dirty to put a coin there. And you can see Alyson's like reaction of like, oh God, where's he going to put this coin? Because when you think about what you say to children about don't do that, it's dirty, there's only 2-3 alternatives really, isn't there? Question number 11. Dan asks Alyson to check that his eye is real. Does Dan ask Alyson if she would like to lick his eye? In short, yes, he does. He says, you know, do you want to lick it? You know, we can have a party. Apparently, it is some kind of weird sexual behaviour to lick someone's eyeballs. Not for me, but hey, if that's what turns you on, You go play. Enjoy. Question 12. Dan wants Alyson to help him shove the coin into his eye. How does she do this? So in truth, I guess you could say that she doesn't actually help him, it's him doing it. But he gets her finger and he pushes it onto the eye and he says, go on, press, push it in there. So the word shove might be new to you. You're probably familiar with the word push, which is like if I just put my hands on your shoulders and went, yep, I'd be pushing you. Shoving someone is more of an aggressive action. It's like shove someone out the way, like get out of my way. That would be to shove. So it's not like a gentle thing, it's more aggressive. Question 13 is a complete the sentence job. And here is the actual sentence completed. The harder part is making it come back, reappear, from someplace impossible. Get your hand out. Question 14. Alyson asks Dan why he's sniffing so much. What does Dan reply? Well, basically Dan says, don't worry about it. Stay out of my personal life. Because it's a well-known trait that cocaine users are constantly going all the time. So if you know a person who's constantly sniffing, could be cocaine addiction. You never know. Question 15. What does Dan use in place of a traditional magic wand? Well, he pulls out a small pocket knife instead of a magic wand. I mean, come on, it never was going to be a magic wand with him, was it? Ha! Question 16. Dan lifts his t-shirt and says, it's perfectly normal. What is everyone laughing at? So what everyone is laughing at is that he's wearing a pink bra, which is not traditional for men, especially not magicians dressed in black, but hey-ho. But of course, you know, the reason he's wearing it is as a distraction because he doesn't want you looking too closely to what he's going to do next. Question 17. Dan makes the coin reappear and gets a squeamish Alyson to touch it. Where is the coin? Well, a coin is coming out of his waist. It's not Alyson's coin, of course. It's one that he put there beforehand. And if you pause the video, you can see where he's folded over his skin to hide the coin. You can see like a crease. It's an old magician's trick. Now, you might not be familiar with the word squeamish. Anyone who's squeamish basically doesn't like things like the sight of blood or anything dirty or anything icky. You know, if you look at Alyson's face, that is the definition of someone squeamish. It's like, oh God, I don't want to touch it. Leave me alone. Yeah, that is squeamish. It's not the same as someone who has a fear of, say, like snakes or spiders. That's another thing altogether. Squeamish comes from things that are disgusting. Question 18. When Dan asks Alyson to confirm that there was no pre-show setup, Alyson says, do you think I wouldn't have agreed to this? True or false? False. It's not wouldn't, it's would have. So basically she's saying if she had known she was going to do this, she would have said, no way, ain't doing it. Question 19. Dan says that Alyson's prize for helping is she gets to keep the coin. What does Alyson do with the coin? Well, basically, immediately she gets the coin, it's like, don't want that. She immediately just throws it away. I dread to think what she's like on Christmas morning when she doesn't like the presents. Question 20. Why does Dan dress the way he does? He says he dresses the way he does because his mum makes him do it. And popular theory from most psychologists is that our mothers are the ones who destroy our lives. So, yeah, probably was. Does Dan believe he wears makeup? Basically, no. When Alyson says, who does your makeup? He gives it that, makeup? What makeup? I'm not wearing makeup. Question 22. Did Penn Teller enjoy Dan's act? In short, yes. They love the act because their own stage act is very similar to this in places. They do like normal sort of stage magic, you know, pick a card type things, but they also do a lot of shock magic. Question 23. Penn explains that while Dan was performing the trick, he was also trying to do something else. What was he trying to do? Well, as he says, you were trying to cement your relationship with Alyson, but it just wasn't working. You were rubbing her up the wrong way. That expression, to rub someone up the wrong way, basically means to do things that they don't like that will make them dislike you even more. You might think you're being charming and nice, and it's just, no, it's not working. Question 24. In order not to explain how the trick was done to the audience, Penn tells Dan that he was performing a type of religious act. What was the religion? Now this question sheet is actually quite old, relatively speaking. I've had it for more than a year. And quite a lot of people that have done this video have got this question wrong because they don't understand that voodoo is actually a religion. A lot of people think it's like a cult or just invented by Hollywood or whatever, but no, it is a proper religion practiced by some people. So it is voodoo. And finally, question 25. As Dan walks off stage, what does Alyson thank him for? Basically, she thanks him for all the nightmares she's likely to have in the future thanks to him. And why not? So there we go, another video completed. I hope you got some useful information out of it, and if nothing else, you had a bit of a laugh. I mean, come on, you don't get videos like this with Cambridge English, do you? Or IELTS or any of the others. So enjoy, I hope. So before I go, I would like to ask the few of you that are remaining, if you have any ideas for a channel that would make a good video project, write it in the comments below and I'll give it a look in it. And you never know, you might see your video with questions in the future. Anyways, I'm going to go. Don't forget, subscribe over here, watch a playlist, hit the like button, and I'll see you next Saturday for another video. Bye for now.